You know that I'ma do me.
Always.
Every day I can, I'm gonna be grinding. Boys said I can't, but I'm still shining. Shining, the boys still can't do shit about me. So forget about me. You know I'ma do me. Y'all boys ain't on the type of shit that I'm on. And y'all won't take it to places I'll go. I can't help it, I hide it. It's there deep inside me. I can't hold back no more. I'ma do me.
That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna exceed with it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Norm, the City Throwdown here with the Honor Fighting Championship Lightweight Champion William Ferguson. What's going on, man?
Going on?
Now, I never thought that I'd have you on my podcast, dude. To be honest, I never thought out of all the people that I've interviewed, I never thought I'd have you on here, man.
Why not?
Well, for all the people who didn't know of the beef that me, you, and Chuck had, man, last year?
Yeah.
That was interesting, man. You actually all that drama that unfolded between all of us, man, that actually was a learner for me, man. It taught me a lot about having a biased opinion and being biased to Ohio fighters. And yeah, it really was a learning experience, especially for the podcast. And seriously, I think that with the exception, I was thinking it was like with you and Chuck and I think with Drew Schottenheimer too. I think we had an issue at one point that we squashed as well, man. It's all been a learning experience, and it's only made the podcast better, man. So I guess in the end, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always here to help, I guess.
So no, congratulations, man, on your victory against Tim Hughes at Fight Night Nautica, man. That was a nasty break. That was,
Yeah.
oof.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, that was gross. I don't know. I couldn't even celebrate, you know what I mean, after winning, because it was just like I was in such shock that he didn't tap, I guess. I remember leaning over when I had his arm locked, and I was like, my head was like right next to his ear, and I was just like, dude, just tap, because I could feel his shoulder like just not moving anymore. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It was gross. It was definitely gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard myself and Brian Clark, the other commentator, because we were about 4 feet away from you when it popped. I mean, we just completely lost it. I mean, we were just like, "Oh, his arm broke, his arm broke!" Like it was insane. People behind us were like closing their eyes. Just everyone was in complete shock, and like it was like the way that you guys were positioned to us. I mean, like I said, you guys were like 4 feet away from us. We had a clear shot of the arm, and it just kept turning and turning. And I remember Brian saying, he goes, his arm's gonna break on live commentary, and I'm not even joking. Like 3 seconds later, you just saw it, and like I'm really weird about breaks. Like I can't see shit like that. Like
Yeah, it was gross.
and that was
Not even just hearing it, I could feel it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like feel it, and it was just like, ugh, it was the worst ever. There's no way to describe how it felt. I honestly, I kind of got queasy when like it initially snapped.
Well, I can tell you that hearing it and watching it was definitely gross. I can't imagine. I can't imagine feeling it. Because I mean, you had his arm was between your legs too, man. So like, I mean, oh yeah, that was gross. Yeah. But I mean, Tim's a tough guy. We're going to be doing an interview with him here shortly, hopefully, and get an idea of how his recovery has been going. And so far, it seems like his recovery has been going really well. And he was stubborn. He wouldn't let the paramedics take him to the hospital until we got in the back of the ambulance and did an interview with him. And we don't typically interview like the loser of a fight, man. But he just refused to do it. He refused to leave. And I like Tim, man. He's a good dude. I like him.
He is a good guy.
And that was good. That was a good fight. I was really. That was a much anticipated fight for us, at least for the guys on our crew. We were really looking forward to that fight for a lot of reasons, stylistically, and I mean, hell, not even the break, but like the way that you were setting up some of your moves and transitions. I mean, the right straight into the throw was beautiful. I mean, and especially because like you tried to throw him first and it didn't work. So then you ended up setting it up with a good right straight, which opened up into that judo throw, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was really good. And uh, why do you think he pulled guard in the second round?
I could tell he didn't want to stand with me. I was trying to stand that whole fight, but he just kept trying to clinch up with me, and I'm not going to clinch up with a taller guy. I'm just not comfortable in the clinch like that. If he wanted to dirty box a little bit, like get close and just throw hands, I'd do that. But I'm not comfortable clinching with a taller guy because it's harder to get control. So that's why I took it to the ground the first round, because I didn't, and it's weird because he's taller than me, so I would think that he would want to stay on the outside a little bit more, but he just kept trying to clinch with me. And then I think he wanted to go for the triangle. That's the only thing I could think of. He just thought he could set up that triangle from his guard because he's done it, 3 times before me. So
Right.
he's had success with it in the past.
So now, what's next? What's next for William Ferguson, man? You're 6-2. You're on a 3-fight winning streak. You plan on going like one more fight, go pro, or what's the plan?
I kind of plan on going pro. I was entertaining a few offers for another title fight, but like one was November 18th, I think it was. They wanted me to fight for a 170 title. That's just a little too big for me. So
Who wanted you to fight for that?
I think it was a Cage Thunder. They wanted me to fight some guy who was 5-0 and had like 3 first-round knockouts.
What was his
Like
name?
I don't even remember. He was a legit 170 pounder.
Right.
So,
yeah, he was walking around like 180, 185, cutting down to 170. We actually had a fighter that fought for our fight team that took a fight against it was Darnell Truitt who took a fight against Casey Turnbull, and Darnell, who is a good natural 155, he took the fight at 70, where Casey's walking around 185, 190. He actually had to he came in 3 pounds heavy, had to cut the weight, and you could see the difference in strength and power that Casey possessed in during that fight. So yeah, you stay away from the true 170s.
yeah, exactly. I'm okay with a fight at 170 if the other guy's a 155er and just doesn't want to cut weight. Like, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to fight somebody who walks around at 185, 190 and then cuts to 170, because I walk around at like 175.
Right.
It's just not.
Have you ever fought at 170, or have you always been at 55?
Actually, yeah, I fought at 65 one time against the James Martin.
Yeah, I remember that fight. That was Cage Thunder 1 in November of 2017, right? We were at that show, I think.
Yeah. You guys didn't cover it very much, so I don't think you announced it or anything. Did you?
No. We actually, when we started off rough, man. If you remember some of the audio and the video, in our first year, we were recording on a webcam, and we didn't have a mixer. We didn't have the right mics. We had cheap Amazon mics. We weren't ready, and it was all learning experience. I mean, now, like, I've got the equipment, we've got the funding, I've got a studio. A lot has happened over the last year, but yeah, during that time when you fought Martin, no, we weren't covering anything, and we didn't actually start covering again until January 27th, I think was. It was actually when you fought Jason Mullen. That was the first time that we had come back and covered anything since August of 2017. So, and that was when we came back. If you remember, we're doing interviews on a cell phone. That's how we were recording our shit. And it wasn't until like March or April where I think it was March, where we actually had the equipment at that point in the studio built. So yeah, it's been a process. It's been a road. It's been a journey this whole time. And yeah, we've covered you. God, multiple times. When you fought Terry Neff, we covered you. And then I was at the fight where you beat James Martin. We weren't covering, but I was there because I remember. I remember walking up to you and Chuck and was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Yeah. Yeah, I
uh,
mean, we didn't feel like any kind of like animosity towards you. You know what I mean? You just had the wrong facts, I guess.
yeah,
That
it
was no
was
big.
definitely it was a mixture. Basically, we had caught heat from James Braden's camp for not knowing where he trained, and so we caught heat from that, and then we were criticized because of that. So naturally, I had built up a bias opinion because of that. Like I wanted to look like the good guy in their
Right.
eyes. So now, what better way to look like the good guy is to root for him against someone who's fighting from out of state? And that, Chuck was coming in out of state, and he's not the hometown boy. Let's root for the hometown boy. And the same doctor that had stopped one of my fights because of the same injury, like I had gotten thumbed in the eye in 2007, and I had a blood hematoma that sealed my eye shut. And the doctor, the same guy, stopped my fight. So when the same thing happened and the fight got stopped, we all thought it was a thumb. I went backstage and his whole camp is like, "Did you see the thumb? Are you gonna fucking report that?" And we're like, naturally, we I said we reported it that way.
Yeah.
Now it's more like we would get the other side of the story, which nowadays even getting the other side of the story is gonna bring
Yeah.
drama.
That's
So
always
it really, yeah, there's no winning it, but it's a learning experience. Now I know, don't no matter what, don't be biased.
Yeah.
Absolute whatever, no matter what, don't be biased. Find out the facts first. And it doesn't help that we record the post fight podcast the next day, and the video of Chuck's fight didn't come out until like Monday. So
Yeah.
we were a day early. So we didn't have the facts, that we probably should have done that, and that was like the start of all that bullshit. And I remember everyone on your guys' side was like, "You need to come out and apologize," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna do that." I was like, "I'm not gonna come out and apologize. That's just not my style." But I mean, hell, you see, even some of the latest videos I did, I didn't come out and fucking apologize. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna say how it is. I'm gonna tell the truth, and that's what a lot of people nowadays in MMA, they don't like to hear. They don't like to hear the truth. A lot of fighters like to make excuses,
Yeah.
and then you have people, what goes on, what's said behind closed doors in the politics of mixed martial arts is kind of like an unspoken rule. Like, you don't talk about it. The person who talks about it, they're the ones who get blackballed. They're the ones who get blacklisted. They're the one who gets yelled at and told to shut the hell up, and you don't know what you're talking about. But in actuality, yeah, we do. We know a little bit about the sport. And,
Yeah. Exactly.
and it's what we do. We're going to talk about, especially us, especially Rubber City Throwdown. We're going to talk about what goes on behind closed doors, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna make excuses for anybody now. So, but
And I wanted to thank you because your post podcast of my last fight, there were some rumors going around that I cheated and I grabbed his glove, which
yeah, I heard that, and I wanted to at least address it during the podcast, that there was, I know Tim had said that he had felt your finger or your thumb or something go in the glove, and that kind of helped you with the position. And like I said, I was like 4 or 5 feet away. I didn't see it, but so I wasn't gonna really report on it like, "Oh yeah, he cheated. He did this illegal move that got." I wasn't gonna do all that. I'm not about that. If I would have seen it, then maybe it would have been a different story. Like, if I would have actually seen it happen, then maybe I would have said something more on it. But like, and that goes back to what happened with Chuck, and if I don't know for sure, I'm not gonna fucking report that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I can't report everything. Like, one person comes up and goes, "Hey man, he did this," and the other side goes, "No, I didn't." If I didn't see it, I'm not gonna report it that way. So
Well, I mean, my thumb did slip in there, but it was before I locked the move up. It was I actually let go of it when my thumb slipped in there, because I was trying to push his hand down, and you have to ride your hand up his arm. And as I was doing that, my thumb itself slipped into his glove, and he actually said, "Hey man, get out of the glove." So I took my hand completely off, readjusted, and then I sunk the lock in.
Right.
So, I mean, my hand did go in there, but did it help me win the fight? No, it didn't. I readjusted. Even the ref said.
Right.
So
Well, shit, at least you're man enough to come on here and fucking admit that, yo, hey, yeah, it did. You know, my
I,
thumb,
I was wrong. I get it. Like, I didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna grab his glove and push it down, because I mean, even if my thumb would have stayed in his glove, it wouldn't have helped me finish that submission. You know what I mean? If it was an arm bar or something where you have to have wrist control and pull it at the same time, I could see, holding the glove, or like a triangle or something holding the glove. I could see how that would help you, but the submission that I put him in, it wouldn't have helped me at all. Wouldn't have benefited me to do that. So that's why I fixed it and went back to work.
Right. Now, what's some of your background, man? When you're fighting, like what got you into to MMA, man? Let's get inside the head of William Ferguson for a little bit. Like, why, why mixed martial arts? What was the interest? Why'd you start?
So I wrestled my junior and senior year in high school, and I was a starting 152 pounder. My both years I started for the senior varsity team, and I loved it. I fell in love with it automatically. I was good at it, just naturally talented. So, and I didn't have enough experience to go to the college level. I knew I wasn't going to do that. So, I just, after that, I was always looking for a way to train something, you know what I mean? As far as that goes. So it took me like around 5 or 6 years to find a good camp. And then I just found my home at Three Elements, fell in love with the sport. I was doing jujitsu for probably 6 or 7 months before I started doing like any kind of striking. And they seen how fast I was progressing at jujitsu, and they were like, "Are you interested in doing MMA?" Because they had an MMA team there. And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, me and Chuck were training at the same time, so they asked us, and I mean, it's been a long road, but I love it.
Oh yeah, no regrets.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. And I have a lot of support from my family all around, so it definitely helps out a lot for that.
That's awesome. Now, what about your fight team, man? Like, you guys have been really invading the Northeast Ohio region, man. You have a lot of guys coming through. It's like every other card, man. We got guys from Three Elements coming up, man. Tell us a little bit about your camp.
Well, we got a good mix of guys there. So a lot of couple smaller guys, couple bigger guys, and there's not a lot of fights cards in like the Erie area. You'd have to go to Pittsburgh, or there's a couple in like Seneca, Niagara Falls, stuff like that. But we just honestly, we like the way Honor Fighting Championship puts on their cards. You know, Scott Corbin's always been a good guy to us. So that's why we just keep going back to him. As long as you're, fair to us, and we'll always fight for you. You know what I mean? No matter, if it's Ohio or Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter to me, honestly.
Right. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing that you guys feel that way with Honor, man. They're only into their sixth show. They're a new organization, and prior to that, you guys were fighting for like a Cage Madness, and you've even fought for like the Bayfront Brawl and Cage Thunder. So, you guys really like the Cage Thunder and Honor now. Those are the top two promotions in Northeast Ohio. Now, you ever think about fighting for like Maverick or anything like that? I don't know how far away that is from you.
I've never been contacted by any of their matchmakers.
Oh, okay.
It's more or less who contacts me and if I like the promotion or not, basically. But yeah, I haven't been contacted by any of the matchmakers. Scott usually hits me up every once in a while to see if I'd be interested in fighting for him. And then I get a couple from what's that big organization? I fought for him twice.
King of the Cage.
Yeah, King of the Cage. I fought for them, but I don't like how they treat their fighters. And that's one of the main reasons I keep coming back to Ohio is because they treat their fighters fair. When you fight for King of the Cage, you're nothing but like a pawn to them. Like you're replaceable.
Right.
And fighting championship, it's not like that. And I appreciate that from that. I like it.
Yeah, they Honor definitely tries to take care of their fighters as best as possible. I mean, they're usually really fair. If a fight, if a fight falls through, they're usually really good about like refunding ticket sales and I know we had there was issues with like when Brogan Endres was fighting and his fighter got hurt. Yeah, I think it was like a burn on his leg or something like that, and I know Jeremy was pissed. And he didn't want to refund the money, but he did. He gave him. I think it was like a percentage of the ticket sales back, and I know Scott's a very unique matchmaker, man. You don't find a lot of guys like Scott Corbin in the matchmaking world. This guy will go out of his way. He'll even pay for medicals. He's even been known to pay out of his own pocket medicals. He's been known to pay out of his own pocket travel expenses for fighters, and he gets burned. He gets burned every single time, man. You get guys that'll fuck him, every which way when it comes to that. He never gets paid back. He never, or the guys he'll pay for travel and the guys will never show up. But yet he's still there. He's still matching. He's still grinding, man. So yeah, Scott Corbin is definitely a good dude. He's one hell of a matchmaker, and there's a reason why he was matchmaker of the year, in 2017. He's probably gonna get it again this year, man.
He should definitely should, because he's one of the few matchmakers out there that's actually for the fighter and not for the promotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's once a matchmaker or a promoter starts worrying about their own pockets than the fighter. When they start caring more about money than the fighter, man, that's when a promotion fails. And,
yep.
We've seen that several times with several promotions, at least in the Northeast region. So, yeah. So you said that like they're trying to get you a 170 title. Obviously, you're not taking that. Is there anything else in the talks right now? When do you think we'll be seeing you back in the cage?
I don't know. I actually I broke my hand in that last fight. So I gotta let that rest up. I can do jiu-jitsu, so I'm thinking I might do a couple jiu-jitsu tournaments while I'm off just to stay active. But you're probably looking at somewhere January.
Right. Shit,
Maybe.
Ohio Grappling Championships, October 13th, man.
Yeah, I know. I was actually looking at the registration form for it the other day. Me and my coach Brandon were actually thinking about doing it. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we're thinking about getting a few guys from Apex on there.
Yeah, I've only ever done one jiu-jitsu tournament, and I was like 4 or 5 months into training. So I'd like to see where my skills stack up against other blue belts.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, before we cut out, anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs?
Just my coaches, Tom, Brad, Jeremy, always been great to me. The Three Elements team, my brother for always staying there, training with me, family supporting me. You guys give me shout-outs and stuff all the time. I definitely appreciate it. And Scott Corbin for being a fair matchmaker, honestly. He's awesome.
Man. Right on. And yeah, the reason why we'll have to get you down in our studio here soon, man. I know you're not too far away. We're in the process of doing a studio move. We're actually moving locations. We're going to be actually set up at Apex Fight Systems gym. We got a 20x8 backdrop now. We're moving up. We're moving up in the world right now. So we'll have to get you We'll have to get you guys down there, man. Maybe do some cross training at the gym. Get a few of you guys down there. Get you, hell, bring your brother, bring everyone down, man. We'll do some cross training. We'll get you guys on the podcast. We'll make a day of it, man.
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be fun. We're always looking to cross train with new guys.
Hell yeah.
So.
Well, listen, man, it's been fun. It's been real, ladies and gentlemen. William Ferguson, the Honor Fighting Championship Lightweight Champion. This is Rubber City Throwdown, man, signing off.